This is Patrick Precourt. This week's Peak Performance Mastery. Welcome one, welcome all. Great to have you back here as always. Each week, we're going to get going here in just a minute. We'll give everybody just a second to pop on. Hopefully, you had an amazing week last week, and you're gearing up to have another great one this week. So I'm going to switch over momentarily to our presentation I put together for you. Set of slides to kind of walk through this. Just kind of just share that I want to bring to you today. It's five kind of key steps to leadership, but these aren't, I want you to get out of the mindset of the frame of, am I a leader or does that apply just to leader? This is for everyone. Okay. This is the stuff that we got to be aware of on a daily basis and focus on every single day. So I use the word leadership, but this applies to every single one of us, whether you be an entrepreneur, a business owner, a parent, spouse, doesn't matter. Okay. And I put it in a very simple context for you. And hopefully get a lot out of it. And also, I put in the chat there a link that chat.restream. All that does is it allows you to connect your Facebook to Restream. So I can, if you choose to chat back and forth, I can actually see who's chatting, right? So pretty easy for what it's worth. Alrighty, let me switch over here. Give me 1 second. We will make the move. There we go. We'll go over to here. We'll share that. And we'll bring this to slideshow. Boom. There we have it. Alrighty. Let me get to the top of the presentation. So here we go. It's titled Teaching Others to Be Great, Leadership, the Rising of a Superstar Team. Now, again, apply this to every aspect of everything you do and appreciate that it's not just, you don't operate alone in this world. And the bigger the challenge, the bigger the goals, the bigger the hurdles that we have out in front of us or dreams that we have, the more important it is to appreciate the power of leadership and getting others on your team to work congruently towards a common goal, common outcome. And use that as kind of the definition or the ideology around the word leadership, right? When I bring this topic up, so many people immediately tune out saying, "No, I'm not a leader. It doesn't apply to me." I'm telling you, it applies to every single one of us. Shy of you being some hermit on some excluded island where you don't come in contact with any human beings. This applies very much to you. So there we go. Let's lean in. Let's have a good time. And what I'll do is, as you guys participate in the chat, I'll get to the chat at the very end versus switching back and forth in the middle here. Okay. But by all means, please do ask questions, and I will certainly tend to them. Here we go. Leadership, teaching others to be great, and rising of a superstar team. So 5 skills of an effective leader. So the greatest measurement of a leader can be found in his or her ability to teach others to be great, to teach others to be leaders. Now, oftentimes we think that the leader is kind of like the boss man out in front, but that's different. That version of a leader is really a manager. That's not a leader at all. They're driven by producing results. Their progress is measured in their KPIs, right? That's not leadership. Where management focuses on growing results, leadership focuses on growing people. So here we're talking about just harnessing the power of people to put them what they want congruent with what you want. When you can do that, team becomes very powerful. And we see this oftentimes, like in athletic teams, the owner of the team, they want wins, right? And guess what? The players on a team, they want wins because it betters them. It moves their own needle towards their own aspirations as athletes, and wherever they're going in their career. And as owners, it works towards their goals and outcomes. So a big part of leadership is creating a tribe around you of those who have similar desires in the journey to produce an outcome, if that makes any sense, right? Now, why you want it and they want it, that does not have to be the same, provided what you're doing is the same, provided the actions taken are congruent in terms of They move your needle towards what you want, and they move their needle towards what they want. It's often a case where a manager hires a bunch of people, pays them money to do a job, but overlooks the power of getting the activities that those people are performing on a daily basis in alignment with the company's goals. And as a result of not getting them in alignment, people have to be motivated on a regular basis. They don't show up energized and motivated or inspired on their own because they don't see the connection between what they're doing and their own personal aspirations or goals or self mastery or dreams. So, what we're talking about is genuine leadership and creating an alignment between those that you're leading, what they want in life, and what you're leading them to. When you can do that, things become magical. So, 5 skills of an effective leader. Greatest measurement of leader can be found in his or her ability to teach others to be great. Number 1, spot and leverage the strength of others. So, comments here are simple. Everyone has God-given strength of some kind, right? Unique, innate, God-given skills and talents that are unlike anyone else's. Right? Everyone has the ability to move forward and succeed. Our job is to spot those innate, God-given skills and talents and build on them. Now, there are some that say, "Hey, stop trying to change people, accept them for who they are." That's not where leader stands. A great leader sees people not where they see themselves, but they see people in the context of who they're capable of becoming, and the leader creates environments allowing that person to thrive, to elevate into that space. Do you see the difference there? It's easy to just say, "Hey, you are who you are, and I'll accept you at that level," and not push people to become more. And that's how often the engagement, especially at work, happens. Versus a leader who will take a chance, take a risk, and will put extra effort into creating environments conducive to those that they lead becoming the best version of them possible. So, number 1, spot and leverage the strength of others, and that's the key to this happening. You see in them what they can't see in themselves, and then give them the opportunity to excel in those spaces. Number 2, teach others how to succeed. Right. So, how to succeed it's a habit, it's a methodology, it's a process. Um, Not everybody's been taught how to succeed. A lot of people are taught just how to execute, which is different than the goal of just succeeding. Difference between being a teacher and a teller. Okay? Um, Teachers genuinely get involved in the outcomes of those that they teach. A teller is just spewing words, just passing on information. So there's a big difference. And in the teacher world, so I use teacher different than what maybe you may immediately go to. Like I'm not talking about a grade school teacher. I'm not talking about a um, a professor in a school or anything like that. I'm talking about somebody who transfers the information into education through an experience. And that's what great leadership does. It's not just telling more information. It's actually providing an experience so they can evolve and actually grow from the knowledge, the information that they've been given. Right. Highest form of leadership is to teach your team how to be successful. School doesn't teach us how to be successful, it teaches us information. You get hired at a new job, it teaches you what to do and how to do it, but it doesn't teach you what it takes to be successful. This is where leadership steps into place, right? Leadership is not driven by the results, it's driven by the growth of people. And the growth of people naturally are driven by the successes that they reach along this journey, right? So the word educate, when you look at the true definition of it, it isn't talking or telling or spewing information. It's to draw out. The word educate is to draw out of you or from you what's inside, and that's what great leadership does. And anybody can pass on information. Lots of people do, but very few people genuinely educate others on how to succeed. And a big part of that is the education side, drawing out what's in there already. And this goes back to the comment above about expecting more of someone than they expect of themselves, seeing more in them than they see in themselves, and pulling that out. Right? Not just accepting you where you are, and letting that be the kind of throttle for how far you can go. Okay. Number 3, use mistakes to strengthen and grow the team. From day one, mistakes are frowned upon. Failures are frowned upon. We're judged for not getting it right, and therefore we throttle back any opportunity that might lead to failure or getting it wrong. Okay, so from day one, we're already going in the wrong direction. Mistakes are often the fastest way to grow. Failures are the fastest way to learn. They're not always enjoyable, and they're not always they're not something we do intentionally, but they are without a doubt the greatest learning curve. We know that for a fact, right? So great leaders understand this, and they allow us to use those mistakes to strengthen and grow each other, grow the team. Panic when fear and emotions go up and intelligence and competence goes down. That is the improper response to challenge, to mistakes, to failures, to panic when it happens. And the relationship between panic, which is an emotion, it's an elevated emotion, right? And our ability to perform has an inverse relationship, and there lies the challenge. So if something goes wrong, right, and you describe it as a mistake or however you want to define it, doesn't matter, right? The panic response means that it's only going to go more wrong because we don't have the competence in the moment in a state of panic to make the right decision, do what's right. Right? Panic, fear, kind of synonymous in these types of situations. If your fear to fail is strong enough, it will most likely become your reality. Think about that for a second. If your fear to fail is strong enough, it most likely will become your reality. And to connect the dots just a little further there, right? If your fear to fail, meaning you're afraid you're going to get it wrong, most likely you won't even try. And it's through the act of not even trying that will be the causation of your failure of achievement. See how those dots connect? So appreciating that mistakes, failure, are part of the learning curve and oftentimes are the fastest way to learn and grow forward. We need to reassociate what we feel the words mean and how we respond to them. So fear, part of change. Part of change means doing something you've never done before, brings us into the unknown. Fear, therefore, is nothing more than a function of not knowing. And if we can appreciate that simple connection, that we don't like the idea of not knowing, and that's what it's a causation of fear. But at the same time, the change that we don't know about is the exact steps or process we need in order to grow forward. We can start connecting the dots between fear and going forward. Yes, it's uncomfortable. It'll never be comfortable. The idea of uncertainty in our lives is never settled. It never sits right with humans and adults, particularly adults, right? However, if we can rationalize that is a necessary process in order to grow forward, we can start reassociating and reconnecting what it actually means to us. Fear then can become synonymous with a possible opportunity, not just something that goes wrong. We are predisposed, it's just the way it is, to believe that all change goes from good to worse. It's just how we think automatically. Well, it's about time we challenge that and not just accept that, because that's a big part of where the fear creeps in. Okay, there's a really neat debriefing process where when we apply it to call it mistakes or setbacks or failures, right? It allows us to move forward quickly from it and grow from it. And it's really, really simple. And so the purpose of it is to take out the learning messages from it immediately, and then let the event go, not wallow in it, not worry about it. Don't beat yourself up about it. It happened, it's done. Let's learn from it. And that's being held accountable to it and move on. And the process is really simple. It's just 5 steps. First, you just do a brief bulleted breakdown of what just happened. In other words, Just a short, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullets of what it is we're debriefing the event. You can debrief anything. You can debrief you got in a car accident, you can debrief it. You got in an argument at work, you can debrief it. You had to fire an employee, you can debrief it. Any event we experience, good or bad, should be debriefed. And the bad ones, the ones that are not positive, right, in their own context, should be debriefed immediately so we can take the learning lessons from them and then let it go and not get emotionally caught up in the bad event, if you will, right? So number one, brief description of what just happened. Number two, what worked, and then in every situation is something that you did right. Step three, what didn't work. Oh, let's just note the things that didn't go well that we didn't get right, right? So that those first three steps are nothing more than data collection of the process and just gives us the facts to work with. And it's very objective. There's no subjectivity here. It's just facts. Step four is okay, what did I learn? And here we have to sit back and take a moment and actually analyze the data and look at, what are the learning lessons that are hidden inside here. Um, I have in front of me what worked. I have in front of me what didn't work. I understand the context of the event that they're referring to. So, what are the actual lessons I can take away from this? And then five, and most importantly, and I think once you get to step five, you can actually throw away steps 1 through 4. You never have to go back there ever again. Let it go. Step five, what am I going to do differently next time? And this is where the accountability comes in. This is where the learning lessons get applied. We take away the things you're actually going to change. Okay. So number three here is use mistakes to strengthen and grow the team. And one of the ways we do that is we use this very powerful tool, the 5-step debrief, and we debrief everything. You can debrief 20 things in a day if you have to get the lessons you need to take away. All right. Number four, promote a realistic but bright future for the team. Realistic but bright. What does that mean? So I don't really like using the word realistic or like common sense or, anything along those lines. However, it sort of applies here. Realistic simply means believable, right? When you set future goals, ambitions, outcomes, futures, right, that are not believable, they're too big or you just can't connect to them, they're not actionable and they're not achievable. Matter of fact, we normally won't even begin the process towards working towards them. The way we change that is we create a goal or a future as a leader. We'll call it the vision here, right? Of something that is challenging yet believable. And this really should be the filter for all your goals. Challenging but believable. Challenging means then it's not going to be easy. It's kind of a stretch, but you believe that you possibly can pull that off. Okay, challenging but believable. So people become their best under pressure, and without the challenging part, we wouldn't have an opportunity to step up. It'd be the same old, same old. So that's kind of why the challenging part is so important to put us under a little duress, a little stress, a little challenge, a little pressure, so that we expand, become bigger. And the challenge is see through the pressure and adversity without breaking. Of course, that's the goal, right? To appreciate that there is another side to this. We'll get to the other side, and the pressure is there for our advantage. It's not there. It's not a bad thing. Don't let the fear creep in. Don't let the doubt creep in, and certainly don't let that take control of our mind. Appreciate that the pressure is there to make us better, make us stronger. Right? A piece that is identifying the light. As a leader, identifying the light is the kind of the challenge for the group. Saying, yeah, there is a bright light at the end of this tunnel. That's part of the realistic but bright future for the team, the part that the leader is responsible for kind of putting out there. Okay. So that's number four, promote a realistic but bright future for the team. And number five, sell. Now, you may think that sell or selling is a weird step here in leadership, right? But when you think about it, Leaders are always selling. Every great leader can sell. They sell vision, they sell attitude, they sell code for the team, they sell ideas, right? They're getting others to buy into what it is they want. They're what they're selling, their vision, their purpose, their outcomes, right? And not everybody's going to buy into it. That's okay, right? The only people that you want in your tribe are those that do buy into it, and see the outcome, see the vision, and they want it not for you. And here's something that's really important to understand: the people that are part of your tribe, the ones that really buy into this, right? They're not doing it for you. They're doing it because they deeply believe in the same thing that you believe in. So they're doing it for themselves, and that's what makes a tribe so powerful, right? They don't have to show up for you; they're showing up for them. But we got to sell that to them in the first place. When Martin Luther King coagulated 265,000 people on the green in the 1960s, he didn't have email or text messaging or Twitter or and really even any widespread newscasting or anything like that to get the words out. Yet he got 250,000 people to show up and say, well, how did he do that? How did he get so many people to show up for him to speak that day? And the answer is he didn't. People showed up for themselves. He just projected a vision that was so clear and so bright with such a strong cause that other people bought into the vision. It was no longer just Martin Luther King's vision, it was their vision, it was their cause, it was their why, it was their outcomes that they wanted. And therefore they invited friends, not for Martin Luther King, but they invited for themselves, said, hey, come join me in my mission and my vision here. You got to hear what I hear, see what I see. And that's why it went viral in today's terms, right? I don't know if they used that word back then, but today's terms, that event went viral. And it wasn't because of any mass media or social media or anything like that that Martin Luther King had to put it out there, right? But he did such a good job of selling his vision that others made it their vision. They just invited friends, and it worked, right? Last bullet here is must also sell others to themselves, giving more confidence, power, and spirit, right? And this is getting others to believe in themselves. The easiest, simplest way to do that is to expect more of others than they expect of themselves. When you do that, it allows them to rise up into their space. That's the power of your leadership, right? They want to fulfill those expectations. And that's, again, another big selling point or selling responsibility of leadership. So, sum these up, right? Number one, five skills of an effective leader. Number one, spot and leverage the strength of others. We all have God-given innate skills and talents that are unique and special to us. A great leader's job is to identify those and give them a place to grow and expand. Two is to teach others how to succeed. Give them the tools, the methodology, the mindset, the desire, the wisdom to constantly, consistently win. Three, use mistakes to strengthen and grow the team. Change the ideology around strengths and failures into growth opportunities. We're born, from day one, particularly in school, if you got a bad grade on your test, you get a big red F on the top of the page, and we grew adverse to failure, when in fact failure is the fastest learning curve to growing and expanding. Number four, promote a realistic and bright future for the team. Creating a vision for the team that the team can adapt and then make theirs so that they show up for themselves and not just for you, means that they're showing up inspired and don't need to be motivated every day. And number five, here, sell your dreams, sell your vision, sell your why. And this leads back to number four, allow it to become their why so that they show up for themselves. You just give them the vision and show them the path, let them do the work to walk the path. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is our presentation for today. Click back here. Hold on one second. Boom, there we go. Hopefully you guys get a lot out of that. I'm going to switch over here to our chat now, okay? And a couple things on chat. One, if you go to that link that I put in there, chat.restream.io, and just I don't know, go there, just give it permission, then it'll allow me to see who's commenting here. Miss Lisa checking in from Cromwell. Welcome. The comment here says, pressure make diamond out of coal. Yeah, pressure is how things change, right? Whereas, again, we're generally a bit adverse to pressure. We have a bad kind of relationship with it. In fact, it's the way we change. Lack of pressure often creates that cesspool of mediocrity, causes us to stay the same. So, good comment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of our presentation for today. Appreciate you all. See you back here, same time, same place, live next week. Peace.